Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. September 19, 2019, the Stupid Piece of Paper edition. And we begin with that lead title for our first story, which is a story from the Washington Post. It is around the age-old question of whether college degrees prepare applicants for a job. Answer, no, but employers demand them anyway. Why? Because it's a stupid piece of paper. But that stupid piece of paper shows that you have the stick-to-itiveness to get through college. Is that really worth taking on $100,000 or more in student debt? It's an open question. Certainly in jobs around coding or other technical skills, a college degree is really not going to help you, but with major corporations still requiring a college degree for any level of movement up into even junior management, it makes it a very difficult proposition. Companies really need to take a fast look at this issue. Next up, from the New York Times Magazine, raises the question of what really brought down the 737 MAX crashes. And here they focused on not on the technical problems which led to the crash, but on training. And this really has direct application to the compliance practitioner, because training is not always put at the top of the list when you're putting together a compliance program. And unfortunately, the same is true around 737 MAX. Now, prior reporting by the New York Times and others have shown that Boeing did not want to have to put on training for the technical changes that were made, but it also shows the really mandatory need for training when you change out a safety or other system, particularly on something that can have life-altering consequences. So never forget how important training is in addition to the technical requirements. Next up, an article from our friend Jonathan Rush over on the Through Geometries blog site. And he posts that the Netherlands has proposed consolidating an organizational change to monitor payment transactions for anti-money laundering purposes. That the Netherlands wants to set up an organization that will monitor payment transactions literally throughout the country. John says that this initiative is one that authorities across Europe and beyond, particularly in the United States, should follow very closely. Obviously, the financial sector is aware of the global regime for monitoring transactions, and there are thousands of unconnected stovepipes. The joint initiative between Netherlands and Dutch banks offers a promising opportunity to see a more coherent approach to AML monitoring that can be devised in conformity with both national and EU legal requirements. It's going to be interesting to see what the response is in the United States. And finally, from the New York Times is another article that the White House has fired the Homeland Security Department's Deputy General Counsel, and creating not only a void in leadership over at Homeland Security, but when you fire a general counsel or deputy general counsel that is overseeing multiple pieces of litigation against Homeland Security for their unilateral and largely unconstitutional changes they've been making, it's going to make it very difficult for Homeland Security to have a coherent legal response before the courts. Now, of course, this will not impact the Trump administration's ongoing Twitter and social media fight, but as the courts are going to be the final arbiters of the changes at Homeland Security, you would think that the Trump administration would want to have a full complement ready to go at Homeland Security, but this is a Trump plan, so apparently not. Mike Volkov and I are back for another episode of Why a Duck, where we take a deep dive into the Antitrust Division new corporate compliance program. Check it out.